Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. So today's topic, what are you predicting? Alright, so I'll get to that in a minute. Can't believe it. It's not completely dark out yet, but by the time I stop to do this video, it's like 4:40 and it's already too dark out to shoot a video without it being way too dark and grainy in the camera. So, don't like this time of year. Messes up my shooting schedule. So, sorry about the yawn. So, what are you predicting? And what do I mean by that? So, the brain is a prediction machine. It's trying to figure out what's going to happen so I know to be prepared. And a hypervigilant brain is always predicting. Here's how we stay safe. We should do this. Here, we should do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do that thing. And the brain's a prediction machine. And so what's cool is we can change our predictions, right? Talk a lot about expectations. So what is it that you're expecting? Another word for expectation is prediction. And when you wake up in the morning and your eyes first open up, are you predicting good things for the day? Are you predicting comfort, peace, joy, purpose? Oh my. I'm sorry about that, folks. What exactly are you predicting? If you have a scheduled trip coming up and you haven't been on a trip in a few years, what are you predicting? Are you predicting it to go well and having a blast and this is going to be amazing? Or are you predicting that your symptoms are going to ruin the trip for you? Everything from going to the grocery store to, heck, going to the toilet or climbing the stairs or whatever. What are you predicting? Are you predicting the best or are you predicting the worst? Right? Because here's the way the brain kind of functions. When you predict the worst, you're telling the brain, we're in trouble, stay alert, pay attention. Right? And when the brain is in that high state of alertness and vigilance, it might perceive all sorts of normal stuff as dangerous, and if so, it may turn on or increase the symptoms. There's a concept called predictive coding. Dr. Schubner taught this to me years ago. Predictive coding means that if your brain expects a certain thing to hurt, it will create it out of thin air. So if you're predicting, this is going to hurt, oh no, this is going to hurt, brain's going to say, you sure you want that? If you go, yeah, it's going to hurt, brain will say, here you go. Literally manifested out of the mind, out of the subconscious mind. It will turn on. So, predictions. Start predicting a better future, a better now for that matter. You know, one of the techniques that I utilized was called I'm good. I'm good. Right? Because previously, before I did that, anytime I would need to make a move physically that I knew in the past had previously hurt, sometimes really bad, I would dread it and I would wait and I would procrastinate. Like, so for example, I'd sit on the couch for a while. I knew, okay, I got to get up. I go to the kitchen for something. I got to go to the bathroom, whatever it may be. And I would sit there dreading getting up from the couch because when I would stand up and my back would straighten, right? You know the feeling, or at least many of you do. So I was terrified to get up because I knew it was going to be pretty tough. And all I would do by delaying getting up is fueling my brain with more fear and expectation that this is going to really suck. And sure enough, it did. So what I learned and decided was that I have to convince this brain that I'm actually okay. So I started with 2 words. I'm good. Now here's the thing. Anytime I needed to do something that previously would hurt, I would say, I'm good, and then instantly do it. No waiting, no delaying, no anticipating, no fearing, just, oh, I got to get up. I'm good, and go. And really important. Really important. That subtle statement goes direct to your brain. It says, I'm good. And the brain's like, oh, really? Because you're not, wait, you must be, because you're not dreading this action anymore or this movement anymore, so you must be okay. So that was a neat little technique that I started to use to predict a better outcome. And it didn't immediately turn off pain completely. But what it did was, absolutely, it saved me 5 minutes of suffering as I sat there dreading the process of getting up from the couch. So at minimum, that was a huge benefit. But what else it also started to do with some practice and consistency, there's that key word, consistency, it started to impact the level of discomfort. So by saying, I'm good, and moving as if I was good, more and more over time, the brain started to let loose of its grasp of my lower back and started to allow it to relax a bit and not be as tensed up and guarded. And inevitably, that was one of probably several things that really helped me out. And I had problems getting in and out of a car, standing up, sitting down into a desk chair, a couch, sometimes even getting up out of bed in the morning. I'm good, go. Getting off the toilet. I'm good, go. I know it sounds silly, but really made a difference for me. And the reason it worked was because it was consistent and it was a message of safety. I was like, I'm good, I got this. Nothing bad's happening, right? So it all goes back to clarity too, because if you still think your body's messed up, you might not have a brain believing you when you say I'm good. If you're doing it like this, I'm good, your brain's not going to buy it. It's got to be confident. So find a little guts in your voice and be like, I'm good, let's go, right? Funny story, I've been doing some sprinting up the side of the house, or like on the other side of that wall, up the backyard. And after doing it for a few days, I started to get some discomfort, some pain actually, in the upper inner thigh. And the next time I ran, I was like, oh, pretty sharp. What the heck? So I didn't run that day. As I was thinking about it, mulling it over, I realized I did not injure myself because the last time I sprinted, it didn't hurt at all. Injuries hurt the moment they happen. So the fact that I was experiencing an upper inner groin pain later in anticipation of sprinting, and then while I started to sprint again, I was like, this is perceived danger. The brain's trying to stop me from sprinting. So once I realized that, next time I put on my sneakers and went out and went to sprint, I got myself totally psyched up. You know, on the side of the house, I'm like, all right, let's go. We can do this. Come on. Let's go. There's nothing wrong with me. Not a darn thing wrong with me. And I got my, timer on my phone. I set it for like 12 seconds. I'll hit start. I'll give it a second or two to start running, and I do, a full 10-second sprint. It's pretty ugly. I would imagine if you were to watch me sprinting, you'd be like, well, that guy doesn't look very comfortable or fluid or smooth. But I run as hard as I can, up the backyard, 10 seconds, walk back, walk around the property, get to the starting point and do it again. I do it about 5 or 6 times, and it really gets me, completely out of breath. It's a great quick workout. Doesn't take more than, 6 to 8 minutes. And what I was able to do is essentially, in that moment, tell my brain, BS, there's nothing wrong with me. I didn't hurt myself. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. By the fourth or fifth time that day, I didn't even have to do that. I would just go run. Today, I did some sprinting, and before I went outside, I felt a little discomfort in one of my knees. Didn't care. I knew I didn't do anything wrong. I slept. I got up. I moved around the apartment, right? But I went outside and I sprinted, and I just knew there's nothing wrong. 3 or 4 sprints in, I realized my legs feel great. Nothing whatsoever was feeling uncomfortable. So, sending yourself a message that you're good, essentially predicting a good outcome, oftentimes will lead to a good outcome. So with clarity and certainty and knowing that you're actually okay, and here's the deal, with some practice, your brain will start to trust you when you actually go, I'm good, brain. Come on, we're going to do this. I'm going to run. I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to get up from the couch. I'm going to sit on the toilet. I'm going to roll over in bed. I'm good. Move. Or move as you're saying I'm good. I'm good. Right? You go. Try it. Play with it. But what you're doing there by even just saying I'm good, you're predicting that things are going to go better than they usually do. What are you predicting? Comment below. If you wake up and predict the worst, and every time you have to do something, you're predicting horrible things, let me know. Is that what you're experiencing? So I wonder what would happen if you started predicting the opposite. Good results, feeling good, knowing you're good. Predict a better mindset. Predict that I'm not going to be as afraid today. Predict that I'm going to be much more clear. Predict that you're not going to waver with your confidence in knowing that you're actually okay. It's just going to take a little while to teach the brain, but the more consistently you can apply these concepts, the faster the brain's going to buy it and get on board. So what are you predicting? Are your predictions full of hope, optimism, clarity, certainty, knowledge, a sense of I can do this? Or are you predicting dun, 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 doom and gloom? Pay attention to that stuff, folks, because this is a mindset game. Your mindset needs to lead the way forward for your brain to turn off symptoms. So if your mindset is always predicting the worst, you got a little bit of changing to do with your mindset and the predictions. The I'm good technique is a little something I did that worked quite well, and I've heard many of my audience members and coaching clients say that they use it too, and it can be helpful if used consistently and with a little confidence, right? So I'm going to wrap this one up. It's a Friday night, just about to start the weekend, and love all you folks more than you realize. Enjoy your weekend. Welcome to Saturday if you're watching this the day it posts. And as usual, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.